Hello, everybody. This is Crystal Guardian here to do another tarot reading for the collective. I'm going to be using the Situations deck. So, we're just going to call in our guides, guardians, spirit, ancestors. Please give us your divine guidance and wisdom in this reading today. Any negative energies being sent our way, please return them back to the sender. We ask this in the name of the Most High. Thank you. Okay, so we have roller coaster, highest high, adrenaline rush. We have nightlife, gamble, take a risk, Vegas. We have threatened, embarrassed, appearances. So, let's see. What else is going to come out? We have cleansing, it says meditation, clearing space, removing negativity. We have done, completion, lessons learned. And we have triggers, name, car, or place. We have magnetic, unexplainable pull, can't resist. And we have divine feminine. I'm just going to grab two more. We have history coming out. It says past happened. And we have anxiety, scared, panic. So what I'm getting from this is somebody had you on a roller coaster of emotions, going through highs and lows with this person because this person was concerned about partying with nightlife here. At this point, you're over it. You've cleansed. You're healing from this. You're removing this negative situation from your life. You're now in this divine feminine energy, whether you're a man or a woman. You are letting things be. This is Empress energy. You're just letting things be. The Empress doesn't chase, she attracts. To her, things are what they are. She's not going to get off her throne. She's not going to lower herself for people that are beneath her, basically. She's not going to bring herself down to their level. I feel like that's the energy you're in now. You're no longer letting whoever this toxic idiot that was more worried about partying, who had you going through these toxic cycles, this roller coaster. At this point, I feel like you've cleansed from this energy. You've released this person. Like I said, you're not going to stoop to this person's level. You've learned your lesson. You've completed this cycle. You're done with this person. Now I feel like because you've released this, this is over and done with. It's history at this point for you. Now whoever this person is, they're feeling like a clown here. They're feeling embarrassed, threatened. They're suffering from anxiety and panic. Now that you've released them, now all of a sudden, they're feeling drawn to you. They can't resist you. But when they were with you, they put you on these toxic roller coasters. They were constantly triggering you. So I'm going to use the Twin Flame Awakened Path Tarot to kind of clarify. So we have Three of Cups coming out. This is about celebrations, friendships, and reunions. It says, so this person definitely wants to reunite with you. I feel like they're come back. Like, this is a very push-pull dynamic. They are with you. Things are good at first. Then they do something to trigger you. With this nightlife here. They could have addictions, I feel like. They do things to push you away. And then they come back in and love bomb you again. Once you've pushed them away, once they pushed you away, this person's very hot and cold. They draw you in, they love bomb you, they're sweet as can be, then they turn into an asshole, start pushing you away, start doing things to hurt you, start doing things to trigger you. Could leave you high and dry, just ghost you, abandon you. Then you try to pick up the pieces and move on with your life. And once you start doing better, then they come back in, suck you in again, back onto this roller coaster. And I feel like at this point, you're just over it. And now because they can't suck you back in, they can't hoover you back, now they're feeling threatened, they're feeling anxious. Now they're seeing that you're in this divine feminine energy. Now they feel like they can't resist you because now you're rejecting them. So we have the Two of Swords coming out here. At this point, I feel like you have made the difficult choice to release this person. It says Two of Swords, stalemate and stuck, denial, difficult choices, and crossroads. So I feel like you are at a crossroads with dealing with this person. You made the choice to be over and done with this relationship. Over and done with dealing with this person. You're tired of it. You're tired of feeling stuck. You're tired of having to go through these difficult choices. You're tired of this person leaving your head spinning. So I feel like at this point, you put them in a stalemate. You made the difficult choice to leave this person behind. With the Three of Cups, like I said, they're going to come in trying to be your friend, trying to have some kind of reunion with you, trying to make you remember the good times, wanting to come in this celebratory energy to try to lure you back in. But I feel like you have them in a stalemate here with the Two of Swords. I feel like you're sick and tired of the games that this person plays. So for nightlife, we have the Knight of Wands coming out, the Knight of Cups, and the Page of Swords. So this person comes in as this Page of Swords. They pretend like they're witty, they're charming, they want to communicate with you, but they're really also trying to just find out information about where your life is so that they can come in and charm you. With the Knight of Cups being here. But I feel like while they're also watching you with the Page of Swords. Like I said, they're trying to find out information on you. Now, this is somebody who can be very, it says curious and witty, but it also says chatty and gossip, communication, finding information. So this person wants to come back and communicate with you. They want to basically find out information on you, where your life is headed right now, what you're doing. They're curious about what you're doing. They're going to come in with the Knight of Cups, trying to be charming. This says charming and idealist, determined and tactful and graceful. So at this point, I feel like they're determined to try to come back in and put you back on this roller coaster. They're going to be very charming when they come back. But this person is still in this Knight of Wands energy. There's somebody who is impulsive and immature. They're charming, but they're rebellious. They can be hot-tempered. So, with this coming out on the nightlife, all three of these is Page and the Knights. Knights of Cups and Knight of Wands. So, this is somebody who is very immature and impulsive. They're rebellious. They're worrying about having their good times with the nightlife being here. Like I said, they're going to try to come back in to charm you. They're going to be witty and charming. They want to communicate, but they're also like curious and trying to find out information on what you have going on in your life. And this is because they feel threatened here that you're moving on. So let's see why threatened is here. We have the Two of Pentacles and the Chariot. So this is why they're threatened. They're threatened because you moved on with the Chariot. It says determination, success, and moving forward. So you're moving forward in your life now. You're finding success. You're determined to move on and make a better life for yourself. With the Two of Pentacles here, I feel like you've adapted. It says balancing resources, flexibility, and adaptation. I feel like you have been through so much with this person that now you're adapting. You've cleansed, you've healed, you're moving on from this negative energy. You've learned your lesson. Now you're learning to adapt, to move on with your life, to find success. And that's what's threatening this person. So let's see, why is cleansing here? Now, this person could have left you in this Five of Pentacles energy. It says hardships and loss, isolation, abandonment, unemployed, and struggle. So I feel like you had this person, like I said, it was a constant in and out, hot and cold, push-pull dynamic. This person caused a lot of hardships in your life, a lot of insecurity. They could have walked away and abandoned you. And I feel like you had to go into Hangman. Now it says for the Hangman, for these cards, sacrifice and waiting, perspective, lack of direction. I feel like you had to change your perspective from dealing with this person to get out of this Five of Pentacles energy where you felt insecure, isolated, abandoned. And by you going into Hangman, by you cleansing to remove this negative energy out of your life, now you're able to focus on your Ace of Wands. This says creativity and passion, new initiative, and inspiration. So I feel like by you going into this Hangman, you gaining a new perspective, you healing, you cleansing, you're now able to move out of this Five of Pentacles and into this Ace of Wands, where you are experiencing passionate new beginnings. Now, whether that's in another relationship, whether that's just in your life in general, doing things that you enjoy and love to do. I feel like you're no longer dependent on this person's energy to be a part of your life. So let's see why history is here. So we have the King of Wands coming out and the Queen of Wands in the reverse. So I feel like whether you're a man or a woman, you are in this King of Wands energy. You're somebody who's bold and daring. You have a sense of optimism. Like I said, you're over this. You're now in your divine feminine energy where you're not stepping off your throne for other people. You're not stooping to their level. You're just letting what happened happen. This person is in this Queen of Wands in the reverse energy. This is basically like somebody who is toxic. Now, like I said, don't worry about it. It's king or queen, whether you're a man or a woman. These are just the energies. So the King of Wands, the Queen of Wands in the upright is somebody who's passionate, determined, attractive, confident, self-assured. The Queen of Wands in the reverse is basically somebody who is, for lack of a better description, somebody who is like a whore and a witch. So I feel like that is this person. They're very toxic. They could have put you in third-party situations when they had you in this push-pull. They could have left you for somebody else. They're very manipulative. I feel like now you're leaving this person in the past. Like I said, you're now finding your own sense of optimism, your own sense of leadership in your own life. Now, you don't have to be a leader of, say, a group or at work or anything like that. You're just taking charge of your own life at this point, I feel. And this person doesn't like it because the more you have this sense of optimism, the more you step into your own power, the less control this person's going to be able to have over you, the less they're going to be able to manipulate you. So why is done here? You're sick and tired of this person having you trapped in this Eight of Swords energy, where you feel restricted. It says trapped and restricted, victimized and helpless, powerless and blind. You are sick of being stuck in these cycles. You're over it. Of somebody having you feeling like you're trapped, you're powerless, you're helpless in a situation. Now, with the Three of Wands, you're looking ahead, you're gaining confidence. It says looking ahead, confidence and growth, foresight. So you're over this Eight of Swords energy at this point. You're tired of being trapped in your head by dealing with triggers that this person causes in your life. And you're ready to look ahead to the future with confidence. Now let's see why trigger is here. Like, this person could trigger you. Like, just thinking about them could trigger you. But I also feel like they're triggered now because you're not falling for their bullshit anymore. We have the Eight of Wands and the Page of Pentacles here. So I feel like when you got away from this person, when you stepped out of this, you made fast movement. You made a quick decision. And once you made that decision to be done with this person, your life started to progress quickly. And then with the Page of Pentacles here, I feel like you are somebody who is loyal and faithful. It says ambitious and diligent, goal-oriented, loyal and faithful, and planning. So I feel like now you're making plans in your own life. You're somebody who is now has goals that you want to achieve, and they don't include this person. You were loyal and faithful to this person, but I feel like you moved away. Like, whereas before, this person was able to come in, trigger these emotions, have you in this victim mentality with this Eight of Swords being here. They're no longer able to push your buttons the way they could in the past. You decided you were done. You were going to step out of this energy. You were going to make the decision to move forward, to progress in your own life, to focus on your own goals, your own happiness. And that is triggering this person. So now, because you're no longer falling for their bullshit and you've rejected them, now they see you as somebody they can't resist, somebody they have an unexplainable pull towards. Now they're seeing you as magnetic because you're no longer falling for their bullshit. You're no longer stooping to their level. You're no longer letting them traumatize you and trigger you. And as they say, rejection breeds obsession. So now this person is feeling like a clown because they can't come back into your energy anymore. Yeah, you've walked away. With the Six of Swords being here, it says leaving behind, moving forward, distance ahead. So you've gotten away from this person. You're sailing on to calmer waters, getting away from them. You're now in this Queen of Swords energy towards them, where you're now independent. You've got your sword up against them. You've placed boundaries between you and them. And with the one sword that the Queen of Swords has, and then the Six Swords, you have your boundaries up against this person because they were in a Seven of Swords energy where they were somebody who was sneaky, deceptive, trying to always get one over on you. And because you're now like this, because you've got your guard up against them, now they're seeing you as magnetic. And the fact that they don't have access to you anymore is causing a tower in their life. They're facing sudden changes. Things are crumbling down around them. Chaos and destruction. Like, they're basically facing these towers because you're no longer an option. They liked having you as an option that they could basically just put on the back burner while they went out and chased other things that they thought were better than you. But they figured you were somebody who they could always come back to, always have access to. Now you're not an option any longer. So now the fact that they can no longer run back to you is what's creating this tower in their life. So we have we have the Divine Feminine here. We have the Four of Pentacles coming out on that. So, like I said, I feel like you've set boundaries and limits with this person. And because of that, Now this person is feeling possessive over you. With the Four of Pentacles, they're trying to hang on to your energy here. It says possessiveness, boundaries and limits, hoarding and holding, insecurity and stingy. So I feel like now that you finally walked away, you've put your boundaries up for this person. Now you're not willing to stoop to their level anymore, give them access to you. Now they're trying to hang on to your energy. Now they're possessive over you. With the Ten of Swords here, because you walked away and you're not tolerating their bullshit anymore, now they're facing a sense of defeat and failure. They're bitter. They feel betrayed, even though they were most likely the one betraying you. And they're in a state of like collapse and giving up because they no longer have this access to you. They feel defeated. So with the Knight of Swords here, this is their energy. They want to come in. They want to be like assertive. It says assertive and impatient, direct and daring, ambitious and motivated. So they want to come rushing back to you in this Knight of Swords energy. But if you are the Divine Feminine in this Empress energy, you don't want somebody who is impulsive, hot and cold, in and out. They're like, it's not even assertiveness. It's like aggressiveness, basically, that they're moving towards you. Maintain your boundaries with this person because I feel like they are going to come back. They are going to try to like, basically, if you're dealing with somebody who is toxic and you establish boundaries with them, they're going to try to trample all over your boundaries because they see it as a challenge. And that's what I'm getting from this Knight of Swords energy. So, with the anxiety here, scared and panic, we had the World come out in the reverse. So this person does not want this cycle to end with you. The World, it says completion, closing cycles, achievements. So I feel like you have closed this cycle out. And this person is feeling this panic and this anxiety because, like I said, they're no longer granted unrestricted access to you. They can't keep you in this cycle any longer. They don't want this cycle closed out. They're resisting this change. And with the Page of Wands coming out, this says excitement and extrovert, energetic and fearless, creative ideas. So I'm getting like now you're in this energy of exploring your own creativity. You're now seeing the excitement of life. You're moving forward. And because you're now in this energy, this person doesn't want this cycle closed out. They don't want you moving on. Now they're facing this anxiety because of it. So I'm just going to grab. Yeah, this is over. We have the Lovers coming out in the reverse. And we have the Eight of Pentacles. So I feel like you've committed too much to your, with the Eight of Pentacles, it says commitment, dedication, work, and effort. I feel like you've worked too hard to heal from this. You've put in too much dedication to work on yourself, to heal yourself after going through this. Now with the Lovers coming out in the reverse, this is over. Whether this person likes it or not, this cycle has closed. They're trying to resist it. But like I said, I feel like you put in too much work on yourself here with the Eight of Pentacles. You're now seeking excitement elsewhere, moving on, moving forward. You put this relationship in the past with the Lovers in the reverse. And that is why this person is going through this anxiety. Because like I said, you're no longer an option for this person. I feel like this person treated you like you were an option. They didn't value you when they had you. Now that they no longer have this access to you, they can't treat you like an option anymore. Now this is why they're freaking out. Because they no longer can use you, basically. So that's the reading. If it resonated with you, drop a like, comment, or subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.